Board Sphinx Audiobooks presents Alpha Umbra, Resonance Patterns.
Chapter 1. Resonance and Discord. The quantum-stabilized windows of the shuttle darkened automatically as they approached Daemon's reach, protecting Dr. Elara Chen's eyes from the harsh light of Alpha Centauri A. Through the filtered glass, she watched reality itself bend and shimmer around the planet's upper atmosphere, a perpetual aurora of probability fluctuations that had become the signature of heavy demon presence. 15 minutes to New Harmony landing pad, announced the pilot, his voice carrying an edge of tension that Elara had grown accustomed to hearing from humans approaching demon-influenced zones. She didn't blame him. Even after 30 years of studying human-daemon relations, she still felt a primal unease when reality became this fluid. She checked her reality anchor bracelet, a necessity for any human working in close proximity to resonance nodes. The device's soft blue glow indicated normal function, its quantum fields helping to maintain the stability of local space-time around her body. The last thing she needed was to phase partially out of existence during crucial negotiations. The shuttle banked sharply, and New Harmony came into view. The human settlement was a study in architectural compromise between terrestrial practicality and demon aesthetics. Crystalline spires that seemed to defy gravity rose alongside traditional pressure domes, while streams of luminous energy wound through the streets like rivers of liquid probability. Above it all, the binary stars of Alpha Centauri painted the sky in shades of gold and crimson that no Earth sunset could match. Elara's personal AI assistant, integrated into her neural implants, chose that moment to remind her of her failure on Limbo. The mining corporation's legal team had been quite creative in their description of her catastrophic misunderstanding of demon territorial imperatives. She pushed the memory aside, though the bitter taste lingered. "Dr. Chen," a voice whispered directly into her mind, bypassing her ears entirely. "Your thoughts taste of regret, an unsuitable flavor for one who would bridge the gulf between flesh and probability." She didn't jump at the unexpected telepathic contact. Not anymore. "Greetings, witness." She responded silently, recognizing the familiar presence of a demon observer. "I wasn't aware the harmonizers had assigned one to monitor my arrival." "They haven't." The voice carried what might have been amusement, if such human emotions could be accurately mapped to demon consciousness. "I am merely curious. Few humans think in patterns as intricate as yours." The shuttle landed with a soft thud, its reality-dampening fields preventing any interaction between its technology and the probability fluctuations that plagued Daemon's reach. Through the viewport, Elara could see her welcoming committee. Governor Alexei Kuznetsov, flanked by 2 Colonial Defense Force officers whose hands never strayed far from their reality anchor rifles. "The governor's mind echoes with fear, masked by ambition," the demon observer commented. "He dreams of harnessing the Nexus Point's power to ensure human dominance in this sector. The harmonizers are not incorrect to be concerned." "And what do you dream of?" Elara asked as she gathered her belongings, but the presence had already withdrawn, leaving behind only a faint scent of ozone and impossible mathematics. The shuttle's door cycled open, and Daemon's Reach's atmosphere rushed in, thinner than Earth normal but breathable, carrying the distinct metallic taste that came from air that had been reality engineered by demon influence. Elara took a moment to center herself, feeling the subtle vibrations of the Nexus Point even at this distance. The resonance node's power thrummed through the ground like a vast cosmic heartbeat. "Dr. Chen." Governor Kuznetsov stepped forward, his smile not quite reaching his eyes. "Welcome to New Harmony, though I fear we have precious little harmony to show for our name these days." He was a tall man with prematurely silver hair, wearing the standard reality-shielded uniform of colonial administration. The quantum-threaded fabric rippled slightly, adjusting its properties to maintain stability in the face of local probability fluctuations. "Governor," she nodded, "I've reviewed the preliminary reports. The situation seems to have deteriorated since my last update. That's putting it mildly." He gestured for her to walk with him, leaving the CDF officers to follow at a discreet distance. "Yesterday, 3 of our researchers reported experiencing involuntary consciousness, sharing with what they believe were harmonizer entities. Dr. Patel is convinced it was an attempted intrusion into our research data. The harmonizers claim it was simply probability overlap due to the Nexus Point's increasing instability. They walked through streets where reality seemed to fold in on itself at the corners of Elara's vision. New Harmony had been built on a compromise, one of the first successful attempts at a truly integrated human-daemon settlement. Now that compromise seemed to be fraying at the edges, much like the fabric of space-time around the contested Nexus Point. "And the node itself?" she asked, though she could feel its presence growing stronger with each step. The Nexus Point's energy signature was unlike anything she'd encountered in her years of study. A vast, swirling nexus of probability and consciousness that made her reality anchor bracelet vibrate with the effort of maintaining normal physics in its presence. "Increasing in both power and instability," Kuznetsov admitted. "Dr. Patel's team has recorded a 47% increase in reality fluctuations over the past week alone. We've had to evacuate 3 city blocks due to spontaneous probability inversions. I've got citizens reporting temporal duplicates of themselves showing up for dinner, and last Tuesday lasted for 3 days in some parts of the colony." They reached the governor's office, a striking blend of human and demon architecture, with walls that seemed to exist in several places simultaneously, while somehow maintaining perfect structural integrity. The quantum art installation in the lobby depicted the binary stars of Alpha Centauri, but as Elara watched, one of the stars briefly winked out of existence, then returned, showing a different stellar life cycle. "The harmonizers," Kuznetsov continued as they entered his private office, "insist that human presence near the node is causing the instability. Their spokesperson, Vox of the Eternal Flame, has threatened to unmake the probability of our existence if we don't withdraw immediately." He paused, running a hand through his silver hair. "I don't even know if that's physically possible, but I'm not eager to find out." Elara sat down, noting how the chair adjusted its quantum state to provide perfect comfort. "And Dr. Patel's research? What has she discovered that's worth risking an interspecies incident over?" The governor's expression turned guarded. "I'm afraid that's classified at the highest levels. But I can tell you that the potential applications could revolutionize our understanding of reality manipulation. The harmonizers aren't wrong to be concerned about its power." He leaned forward. "That's why we need this treaty, Dr. Chen. We need a framework that allows us to continue our research while addressing demon concerns about safety and sovereignty." "And if such a framework proves impossible to achieve?" she asked, though she already knew his answer. "Then the Colonial Federation is prepared to establish military control over the Nexus Point." His voice was soft but firm. "We cannot allow such a powerful resource to remain solely in demon hands, no matter their historical claims to the region." Before Elara could respond, reality rippled around them like a stone dropped in a pond. The quantum art installation exploded into a cascade of probability fragments, and for a moment, Elara experienced the disorienting sensation of existing in several timelines simultaneously. Her reality anchor flared bright blue, forcing local space-time back into alignment. Speaking of the harmonizers, Kuznetsov grimaced, looking at his desk display. It seems they've decided to move up your first meeting. Vox of the Eternal Flame is manifesting in the crossroads in 10 minutes. They're insisting on your immediate presence. Elara stood, straightening her probability-stabilized clothing. The past failure on Limbo weighted heavily on her consciousness, but she pushed it aside. The stakes here were too high for self-doubt. "Then we shouldn't keep them waiting," she said. "In my experience, demon concepts of time can be flexible, but their patience rarely is." As she followed Kuznetsov's aid toward the reality-shifted space known as the Crossroads, Elara felt the whisper of the demon observer brush against her mind once more. "The threads of probability grow tangled around you, Dr. Chen," it murmured. "The Nexus Point sings of changes to come. The question is, will you guide the melody or merely become another discord in its cosmic symphony?" The aide opened a door that seemed to open onto several locations simultaneously, and Elara stepped through into the in-between space where humans and demons could meet as equals. It was time to see if she could prevent another war between beings of flesh and beings of probability. Above her, through the impossible geometry of the crossroads ceiling, Alpha Centauri's binary stars continued their eternal dance, indifferent to the dramas unfolding in their light. Somewhere in the distance, the Nexus Point pulsed with power that could either forge a lasting peace or tear reality itself apart at the seams.